Hey, good morning. What's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Really cold. I was bragging about how nice it was down here versus up north, but a really cold 43 degrees out. I mean, that's cold for us down here in South Florida, and I'm sure there are iguanas dropping out of the trees today. So if they haven't been dead from this cold season we've had, I don't know what. But anyways, that's an inside joke for most Floridians. If you don't know, we are inundated with those big green iguanas. And during cold snaps, they just kind of freeze up and fall out of trees. So anyway, let's get back on track here. Let's get away from lizards, cold weather, and beaches, as much as I'd rather be on the beach than working. And I'm sure you would be too. We're back on track here. And I think it's the same thing with precious metals. We're back on track with precious metals. That Reddit silver corner or whatever, silver short position thing, I don't think that really developed much legs, and if it did, it was nipped in the bud pretty early. And my understanding too is that it may not even been created on the Reddit site itself. It just may have spawned from there. Here nor there, it did drive prices up a couple bucks, and that probably frightened some people at COMEX and in London, because my understanding, now this is not necessarily, I haven't fact checked it, but my understanding there is approximately, what was it, 2 billion ounces or something like that? Hang on, 2.1 billion ounces of silver sold during thinly traded hours. You know, the typical monkey hammering that we've been used to, I've been used to for 20, 30 years or whatever, and that we've really seen happen over the last 10, 15 years. In fact, exactly what J.P. Morgan got caught doing is monkey hammering, manipulating gold and silver markets, but it still happens. There's still other people out there doing it. It's on the whether it's legal or how they do it, it's probably legal, but no less they monkey hammer the markets. Now, my friend had sent me a text. This is a friend of mine, John, that said that 2.1 billion ounces of silver was sold to knock down that $30 price level, which I wouldn't doubt, when there's only 4 billion above ground. Well, it's paper. It's paper. We all know what they can do with paper. Paper is their game. Our game is physical. And as I say, stay focused. Don't get sidetracked with these things. I think a lot of the Reddit people, or the people that were listening to that silver short position attack by supposedly the Reddit followers or the Wall Street, whoever they were, Wall Street brothers or something. I think people that listened to that, a lot of people did actually, and jumped into the silver bandwagon, and they got into the completely wrong vehicles. They got into silver miners, they got into ETFs. You know, if you're going to corner a silver market, there's one way to do it, and only one way to do it is you got to corner the physical supply, and then you have to go after the banks or your COMEX, and you got to go after London and get contracts, silver contracts, and demand delivery. So that's the only way to really corner that market. But you know what? I think this market is pretty much, I think they've unloaded so much ammo trying to keep the price of silver down that at some point they won't be able to control it much more. And if they indeed unloaded 2 billion ounces of silver this week, Monday or Tuesday, or whenever the knockdown was, what was it, Tuesday? If they did deliver that much or sold that much silver, notional silver. Now, mind you, that didn't have to be physical silver. That's just paper silver, more than likely. But no less, it did knock down the markets from that $29 to $27. And more or less, who cares? We're back at where we were before this little thing. So stay focused. Don't let this little blip in the chart, the little Reddit blip, bother you at all. It probably helped us to some degree because it's educated some more people on silver and what the real deal is with silver and how manipulated and shorted it is. So I think it was good publicity for us, to be honest with you. But again, like I said, stay focused on what we're doing, not what they did, and not the result of what happened, which was a $3 up and a $3 down. Easy up, easy down. And I wanted to show this chart to you because you know, we haven't looked at this chart, and the $3 down day probably dismayed some of you new guys. Some of you new guys probably got into silver just recently, and you bought, you know, and especially with the high premiums this week. And now you're thinking, oh my God, did I get suckered into a metal? No, you did not. No, you did not. I want to take a look at this chart right here. This is 2010. This is our last bull market in silver and gold. When gold had broken the $1,900 mark, its all-time high. It went to 1900, which had broken the previous all-time high of, what was it, 850, 900 in the 1980s. And silver once again broke its $50 mark or near it. And here you go. This was April. I forget exactly when in April, but basically our bull market lasted through 2001, all the way up to 2011, and take a look at that chart. Again, that's like about a decade ago exactly. And then silver kind of trended back down. It got monkey hammered, and basically it got monkey hammered. And let's take a look at the let's see the chart before that, when silver had hit 50 bucks once before. But $50 in 1980 market would be equivalent to $500 silver now. Tough to say. The environments are actually more similar between 1980 and now than our last bull market in 2011. So I think there's more parallels with this. But take a look at this market in silver. And mind you, the Hunt brothers cornered the silver market. I don't think it would have gone this high if they had not. However, that's 1980, folks. So silver has been to $50 an ounce twice already, in the 1980s, or let's say 1980 right here, and in 2011. So we're going to see it again, there's no doubt. It's definitely one of the most undervalued commodities out there. Let's move along to a little news here. Oh, and as I said, stay focused, man. Just stay focused on these numbers, and stay focused that we are going to see silver hit that all-time high again, as well as gold. And hey, gold, folks, I'm sorry about that. I'm talking more about silver today, but because silver's in the news this week. Let's take a look at a few things here. The article by Mon-Fri. I've liked reading this guy's stuff from goldswitzerland.com. He talks about the central bankers, the master forgers, how the banks have carried out around the world tens of trillions of fiat paper money. Again, stuff that we talk about all the time. This is old news for us. However, he talks about how if we printed this kind of money, we'd go to jail. And he's right. A little detail. Again, this is something you and I have talked about, I don't know how many times. Biden and Yellen to make history, and that's true. We talked about this, too, as well many times, that basically, with the Biden administration, with the Biden win of the presidency, nothing was going to change. Everything was going to go to this crap eventually. The fiat currencies, no fiat currency lasts that long. We were going to see inflation, a dollar deflation, and we're going to see that regardless of who won the election. But we have said over and over that a Biden win would accelerate all this. So I think what we're going to do is see an acceleration in the decline of the value of the dollar, an acceleration in the printing of more dollars, and an acceleration in the value of commodities. Because where does the money go? Where does all this cheap crap money go? Well, it's going to eventually move into gold and silver. It historically always has, and it'll go into other assets as well. But gold and silver has a track record, unlike cryptos, unlike equity markets, stock markets, unlike governments. Gold and silver has a track record of 5,000 years. People will elevate towards that at some point, and in big numbers, and it'll probably drive the price to stratospheric for a while. Anyways, moving along here. Wrong Dose of Poison. I like this guy's articles. Von Greiser, Paper Silver is Toxic. Good article. I would recommend you read it. There's one little thing down here that I found interesting. He was talking about where to go. Kind of interesting chart. Let's take a look. Gold to silver ratio 1997 to 2021. We were just talking about this. I didn't read the whole article. I just kind of glanced at it earlier. So you take a read about it. You can take a read here and tell me about it. So where'd we go from here? 68 to 1. Oh, this last March. Yeah. Remember when the silver ratio, and we were talking about this heavy for a little while, when the silver ratio hit over 100 to 1. That was just insane. And product all of a sudden became hard to get like it is right now as well. There's some crazy stuff going on. So keep an eye on your metals. Buy the dips, and don't sell into these. Don't sell into the dips. Buy the dips or hold. That's my opinion. But buy fresh. This is what I was looking for anyway. It was kind of interesting. Buy freshly minted gold directly from reputable refiners. Well, this is one thing that's going to confuse some of you guys, because 99.9% of us can't buy directly from refiners. We have to buy from distributors who buy from refiners. So this gentleman talks about, in order to ensure the quality of gold we purchase for our client, we always buy new bars or coins directly from the Swiss refiners. I'm not quite sure which Swiss refiners he's talking about. And if he is, he must be a direct distributor in order to do that. But here's what kind of threw me off a little bit. if the client sells his gold, we sell it back to the Swiss refiner who melts it down and recast it. So they must have some kind of a different kind of refining situation out there that we don't have here, because even for me to do it, and I have an account with Metalor, they're one of the largest refiners in the world actually, and even for me to do it, it's a few percent, 2 or 3%. So to charge a customer 2 or 3% for newly minted, well, that's okay. You charge them for the newly minted bars plus whatever your profit is. But to take those newly minted bars, that should be absolutely fine, and go back and melt them again, re-assay them, and cost the customer 2 or 3% more money. I don't know how that works. Anyway, I'd be curious if I ever got a chance to talk to this gentleman how he does that. And he goes into fake gold and silver will become a major poison. Well, if you look at my videos here, I did a specific video in my pro tips section of videos where we talked about counterfeits and Chinese counterfeits. In fact, we talked about counterfeits this last week with the 1947D half that I seen come in. Yeah, that is a big issue, folks, and this is why I think that it is extremely important for you to buy local and buy from people that know what they're doing and have the proper equipment to check these things. We have all the proper equipment, plus we have years, 40 years of experience buying and selling this type of product. However, no matter how well-intentioned a person is online, an online seller, no matter how well-intentioned they are, no matter how well-intentioned that eBay seller is, or no matter how well-intentioned your best friend is, they just don't have the equipment, the ability to test this stuff. And the prices are getting so up there that you just can't afford to make mistakes, folks. Even if you're paying an extra % or so more to buy from someone that's local and knows what they're doing and has the equipment to test it, it's worth every penny. Trust me on this. Anyways, good article here that should be read. Bond Greyer's paper silver is toxic. I like a lot of his stuff. I wish I had a guy like that working with me. I could use the help, by the way. And he's with goldswitzerland.com. I think they are a different kind of a gold and silver investment place, and I still believe I can beat their prices. So that's why I don't mind showing you potential competition, and that's why I talk about the online sellers, and I give you their names, because I know I can beat their prices. Again, that was a little bit of promoting myself, so forgive me for doing that, but it's true. And let's move along here. The interesting article as well on Zero Hedge. And by the way, if I haven't told you 100 times already, Zero Hedge is free. I have the $1 per day subscription, so I don't have to get all those ads popping up, which are really annoying to me. However, one of the great things about Zero Hedge is they do offer their stuff for free, as long as you don't mind looking at the ads. So go to Zero Hedge, take a look at these articles that I've been showing you. And let's look at the next one. U.S. Mint warns it can't meet surging demand for gold and silver, which brings up another interesting point that I have to ask. Is it because the U.S. Mint can't get enough silver and gold? I don't think so. I think their sources are pretty deep. I think it's simply because of the virus has slowed down manufacturing at the mints and mints all over the world. That's my opinion why we're seeing kind of these little shortages. I mean, I believe overall there probably is an above-ground shortage of silver if the shit really hit the fan and people had to deliver on contracts and people had to deliver physical silver for the paper they put out. I think it would be, I think silver would go through the roof because I don't think there's that much on the ground to hand out. But no less, I don't think these little shortages are a result of that directly. I think these shortages are kind of a result of the manufacturers just being closed up because of the virus. I really believe that. And let me see, the best way to say this is I'm a big refiner in silver, so we do a lot of scrap refining with jewelers and antique people, and a lot of estate people sell us their scrap silver because I have a good account with Metalor. They're one of the largest in the country, very trustworthy company, and they've been telling me that my silver it's backed up. I mean, it's taking like 6 to 8 weeks to get my silver refined. So they're way backed up right there. Why are they backed up if there's such a shortage? I don't know. I don't get it. I just think that the manufacturers and the producers of these bars have just been having issues because of the virus and the closures and not having the staff and the manufacturing capability. That's just my opinion. But no less, let's talk about shortages here. And this was a very interesting article, right? Well, actually a visual that I'm going to show you in just a moment. But I was looking for something just to give you kind of number. A revealing new study, now this is in 2016, a revealing new study showed that $22.2 billion worth of gold and $1 billion worth of silver was thrown away worldwide in the form of electronic waste in 2016. Well, wow, that's pretty interesting. Think about it, $1 billion worth of silver, and my understanding is that silver's been thrown into landfills for years and years and years because we've been using silver solder in electronics for years and years and years now, once they got away from lead. So that's one way that takes silver off the market forever until we figure out a way to go mine these landfills that we've filled up with electronic gadgets. But let me show you a visual here. I thought this was really cool. Silver, visualized in bullion bars, silver size chart. There's a Swiss pocket knife, 5 grams of silver, 250, and there's our typical 1 ounce bars right there. Now we're going to up it to a little bit. We're going to up it to 15 kilograms of silver, and there's a kilogram gold of cube right there, and a 1 kilogram of silver. You know, gold is a little bit denser, so it will be smaller. But now take a look at this, and it gets even more interesting as we go down here. Here's what a ton of silver looks like at $31 per ounce silver. So if you take a look at that, there's your pocket knife, there's a $100 bill. So, you know, really it's not that much. I mean, in today's dollars, you know, if silver hits $100 an ounce, that'll be 3 times that amount. And over my lifetime, let me see, over my lifetime, since I first got in the business, I seen silver at around $2.50, $3 an ounce, as low as $2.50, $3 an ounce. So you could have got 10 times this amount of silver for the same amount of money right now when I first got in the business. That's kind of interesting, a little tidbit for you. And take a look at this. I always love it when a lovely lady sitting on a couch made of money and 100 tons of silver. It's pretty cool here. But 1 ton of silver. Let's see, where's 1 ton of silver? There it is, 1 ton of silver, 2,000 pounds of silver. There's 10 tons of silver, which is 20,000 pounds of silver next to your standard size male. And there's 100 tons of silver sitting with a lady sitting on top of it. And 1,000 tons. Now I guess we're getting there so we can see. All right, there's 1,000 tons. World silver reserves is right there. And there's our lady sitting up there. So there's all the official holdings of silver in the world. U.S. Eagle, minting is right there, silver ETFs, but you know, a lot of people don't believe that this ETF silver really exists, and I wouldn't doubt it myself, but I could be wrong on that. Private bullion numbers are probably right. COMEX warehouses, well, they should be right, but look how small the COMEX warehouses in the London stocks are, and I doubt that they even have that much, and that's my opinion. But anyway, really cool visual. Take a look at the silver currently in existence. Now there's a house and there's a 18-wheeler right there, and this is all the silver in existence, in existing forms, not just accessible purchasable silver reserves. This is supposedly all above ground, and I don't know if this includes landfills as well. Maybe it does. Here's an even more interesting one. Look, silver lost throughout history is as much as the silver that's currently in existence. That's pretty scary. There's all the gold mined in history right there. But if you look, we've lost as much silver throughout history, probably through landfills, throwing it away and losing it, than we currently even have in existence. So that was one of the points I wanted to make as well. So good, excellent visual. And let me see, what is the name of this? It's called demonocracy.info, infographics world/silver/silver.html. Really cool visual there. If you want to take a look at it, you can take a look at it after the video. Anyway, let's finally move on to gold and silver prices, because this has been a long video. Sorry about that. And currently gold prices are at $1838.86, still down, nothing really up, but about the same as where it was before this whole Reddit deal started. And New York silver down a little bit, $26.88. It was a $27.21 as a high last night, so I suspect we're going to see that move back up to that $27 mark. And platinum nearing that $1,100 mark. Again, we are just back into the pre-Reddit mania of that couple of days, you know, of last Thursday, Friday, and Monday. We're back into our normal trading range, it looks like. And my opinion is we're just going to go see it up from here and buy the dips. We're in a bull market, folks, so as I said, buy the dips and don't get caught up in these little frenzies like that, whether you're buying or selling. Well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins. We have lots of silver products on hand. No 10-ounce bars, though. I got 1-ounce bars, 100-ounce bars, and 90% silver, and some gold coins. But, at any given time, our supply could dry up as well. So if you got any questions, call me. Again, 10 to 4, Mondays through Fridays at 954-493-8811. And happy to answer any questions or help you with whatever you need. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to these videos, and I really appreciate it. If anything crazy happens today, I'll do another video. If not, talk to you tomorrow.